From Anshe Sfard Bethel Emeth Congregation, it's time to take 10 minutes for Torah with Rabbi Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Noah, hard work and maintenance. If we look at Parshat Noah, we need to see it in the backdrop of Parshat Bereshit, the story that precedes it, the story of GaN Eden. There in GaN Eden, the human being is given a charge, Lo'avdah u'shomra. We are to work the Garden of Eden, and we are to guard the Garden of Eden. Now, Rabbi ben Rambam says, what does it mean to work the ground? I mean, we don't know, he says. Is the Garden of Eden like a garden, like a forest, a pardes, that you have to water the trees? Is that what it means to work the garden and preserve it? Is it, as some would say, a mandate to both work the land and preserve it? The mandate for preservation, conservation of nature, conservation of the species, Noah being the great conserver of the species, the preserver of the species. In fact, there is a midrashic tradition that says that work is such a Jewish value, such a central Jewish value, that even in the Garden of Eden, a perfect world, there was work. La'ovdah, you should guard, you should work the land. Hard work is part of the most ideal life. However, the Rambam, Maimonides' son, says, wait, do we really know that there was work there? Maybe this is a metaphor for something else. After all, Vayikach Hashem Elokim et Adam, man God took man and he lifted him up. And by GaN Eden, he placed him in GaN Eden. He tried to lift him up. He tried to guide him to completion, to perfection, something he did not have at the onset of his creation, to go beyond where he was at creation. And he put him there, why? Lo'ovdah u'shomra. Lo'ovdah means to work on yourself, to develop to that point that you achieve that which GaN Eden is for. GaN Eden is for the ideal life achieved by the human being. And Lo'ovdah means to work to be worthy of being in that garden. That's what all of life is all about, to work to be worthy of going back to GaN Eden, to the Garden of Eden. And L'shomra, to preserve, to conserve, that means to guard, to make sure that you don't lower yourself from what you've achieved. If you achieve something with hard work, you reach a certain level, L'shomra means to preserve that, to maintain that level that you've achieved. And that's the idea of Lo'ovdah u'shomra. What I'd like to suggest is that this mandate in Parshat Bereshit is then followed through by all the biblical characters, the entire biblical story, the entire 5 books of Moses are in some ways a carrying out of these two mandates, Lo'ovdah u'shomra, to do the hard work, to grow, and L'shomra, to do maintenance. If we look at the various characters, Parshat Noah, what is he? Is he a grower, a maintainer? He's a person who does the maintaining. His job is to preserve mankind. Et Elokim italach Noach, he walks with God. He stays with him. He's not a person who grows, he's a person who stays and maintains. He preserves to make sure that the ground doesn't flare up with all kinds of weeds. He was the first to work the ground in that sort of way, to preserve the land. Later, he deteriorates. He does not preserve himself. He deteriorates to be a man of drinking, a man who was brought to shame by his drinking. This is not the ideal that Noah was supposed to preserve, the idea of preservation, L'shomra, to preserve. The Tower of Babel, they tried to make it something where they were growing and building, but it was a tower to nothing. The purpose of the tower was nothing. This is not growth, this is not maintenance, this is false growth. Yitzchak, Avraham and Yitzchak, Avraham, Hitalech lefanai, he walked in front of God. Avraham went lech lecha, he went from one level to a higher level, and higher, the 10 trials, till he reached the pinnacle of Mount Moriah. Yitzchak was a man of preservation. His job was to preserve and conserve that which was achieved by Abraham. Yaakov is someone who works. He works for his wife. He's always working. There's that ladder that he's supposed to climb, the ladder to heaven. He's a climber. He's one who's trying to strive for great heights. Yosef, on the one hand, he's the great preserver, the great person who preserves the entire world. He preserves his entire family by providing food. And he's also someone who's always working. He improves himself. He does teshuvah. He's better than he was as the haughty child that we meet at first. He humbles himself to become the great Yosef who can forgive his brothers, at least to some degree. Yosef is both a preserver and a worker. And ultimately, as Jews, Tavdun Elokim al Har Zeh, our mandate told to Moses at the burning bush was to worship God at the great mountain. Our goal as Jews is to elevate ourselves, to raise ourselves. We're not born perfect. We're born as a tabula rasa, only to elevate ourselves, to restore ourselves to our highest and most pristine levels. Ultimately, the Jew is charged both zachor, to do, to remember, to do the positive mitzvot, and shamor, to guard yourself. Watch out. Watch out for the downfalls. Watch out for the pitfalls. Watch out for things that can get us off track. That's Judaism. Hishamer, watch out, preserve, conserve, and also ta'avdun, do. There are commandments, there are mitzvot, and this can help us grow and reach great pinnacles. Ultimately, our goal is nothing short of going back to the Garden of Eden and to even there to have an aliyah that the neshama, our neshamos, our souls should continue to elevate themselves every day and every year as we do more mitzvos in their merit. Let us hope that we're able to meet this mandate, Ola to do some work in ourselves to grow to be better. And let us hope at least we can do the work of l'shomra, the maintenance, not to fall back from what we've achieved. Thank you for joining us here at Parshat Noah and our discussion. Thanks to Jason Lefkowitz for his technical assistance. Thank you for joining us here at the Anshe Sfard Beth Elameth congregation here in Memphis, Tennessee. Join us each week for our discussion of the Parsha, holidays, and how to. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein. To learn more, visit ASBEE.org.